So this is my back pattern, and from here is my nape to waist measurement. And you remember that I came up by 1 inch here. You can see my 1 inch. So I'm going to be doing the same thing. Here is my nape to waist measurement. So I will go up like this by 1 inch. So from here, I'm going up by 1 inch because I did the same on the back. So from this point down to the waist, I'm measuring so that I can transfer the measurement to the center front. So here I'm connecting these 2 points together, and this is going to be my block for the front part. So the chest line, I'm going to be extending it to the center front. So of course the front and the back share the same chest line. Yeah. Okay. So here from center front inward, I'm going to be inserting my chest width measurement. And if you forgot to probably measure this on your client or yourself, you can get that through this calculation on your screen. And like I said, there is a need for ease allowance on the back. So but for the front part, you don't need ease allowance for the chest width. Okay, so right now I inserted the chest width on the chest line and on the neckline. So, and that's why I have a straight line which is called armhole depth line. All right. So now I'm inserting my shoulder to nipple measurement. Mine is 12 inches. So from there I have my bust line. Now the next is my neck width. So the back neck width is going to be transferred to the front because it has the same neck width. But mind you, the shoulder measurement is not the same. So my shoulder measurement is 8 inches, and I added about 1/4 of an inch to the back shoulder measurement, which is 8.25. So but for the front, I won't be adding any ease allowance to that. Okay, so my chest width, my neck width plus 0.25 or 3/8 of an inch will be the neck depth on the front part, so that I can have a box here. Okay, and from having this box, you can connect to have your front neck line. Now next is my bust span measurement, and of course you have to measure this on yourself. Mine is 8 divided by 2 will give me 4, and that's what I'm inserting right now. Okay, so right now I'm inserting my front length, shoulder to waist on the front part. Mine is 19.5. So of course, you know, I have the remainder on the bottom part, which is the last line you can see there. Okay, so now I'm going to be inserting my shoulder measurement. Of course, you have to deduct your neck width from your shoulder measurement. Mine is 8 minus my neck width. Okay, whatever the value gives me, I'm going to divide that into 2 and insert half of the measurement from here outward. Okay, and this is where my shoulder dart will start from. So I'm going to be connecting this point to my nipple point. Okay, can you see with a straight line? Okay, now on the neckline downward, I'm going to be inserting 3/4 of an inch and mark. You can see that, and from here I'll connect to this point. Okay, I have that. All right, so right now I'm going to go up from the chest line by 2 inches and mark. And from here I'm going to be placing my 1 inch line or mark on my tape measure, it has to be parallel to the line that I have there, okay, so that I can measure 1 inch outward, okay, on the same 2 inches mark. I hope I'm making sense, okay, so that my line can pass through that point. All right, so this is it. So whatever this line gives me, I'm going to measure it and rotate it so that I can have the same measurement on the next dart leg. Okay, so this is actually my shoulder dart. Is as simple as that. Okay, now coming to my back, you can see this is 1 inch going up and this is 3/4 of an inch going down, making 1 3/4. So I'm going to be adding 3/4 to that 1 3/4 to give me 2.5 inches, and from here I will measure down 2.5 inches, and this is going to represent the slope value for the front. Okay, so and here I'm going to just take my ruler and square across. Now of course this is half measurement of my shoulder length, or shoulder, of course my shoulder measurement. So I will just measure it just to confirm that, because I know I divided the measurement into 2. So half of it is going to be placed here. So I'm place it in such a way that it's going to hit the horizontal line that I just drew. Okay, you can see, and I'm going to connect with a straight line. All right, so I have my shoulder slope like that. Now I'm going to come up by 2 inches from the chest line, because I came up by 2 inches just to have my shoulder dart. Okay, so I'm inserting 2 inches right from my chest line. So now from here to here, I'm going to measure it. Whatever I get from this, I'm going to note the measurement and transfer the measurement right from the armhole depth line outward. Okay, on that same level of 2 inches that I noted earlier. So now I am going to be connecting this point, and this point to have a curve, an armhole curve. Okay, right now I'm going to be using my pencil first, okay, because I don't want to make any mistake. Of course, if there's any mistake, I can easily clean off. So once I'm done using the pencil and I'm fine with my curve, then I can use my marker pen to highlight. All right, next is my darts, waist dart. My waist dart allowance is 1.5 inches, and from the nipple point I'm coming down by 1.25. For a plus size, you can go down, as you know, you can go down by 2 inches if 2 inches is not bad at all if you are busty. So normally I'm supposed to go down by probably 1.5 or 2 inches, but I just decided to measure 1.25. So you can curve it this way. Your waist dart can be like this using your curve ruler. It's possible. So I will be doing that on my fabric. Okay, so you have to stay tuned to my next video, because that is where the sewing is going to take place. I don't really like my videos to be too long, and that's why I try as much as possible to break my videos. Okay, so now here I used, of course, straight lines to draw my darts, and note that, of course, the last line there is not long. Okay, so please make sure that your dart starts right from the very last line upward, because that is your front waist line. Okay, now I'm inserting my round waist measurement plus my dart allowance plus ease and all of that. So I'm measuring it, and from this mark I'm going to connect to my chest line to have my full, front. And to connect my dart leg, the last dart leg, I'm connecting to that mark or point on my side front. Okay, this is beautiful, right? So I'm almost done. In fact, I'm done. Now to cut, of course, I need to fold in my darts, okay, so that I can, of course, get a perfect line along the shoulder. Okay, so it's important you do this before you cut. It's important you do it before you cut. Here I have my pattern. So, and for my shoulder dart on the back, you could see some back patterns having shoulder dart. Of course, it's possible, but it's optional. It's not compulsory. Okay, and look at what I did here. My shoulder dart is going to be 0.5 inch, and I'm going to just, move out of my line outward to include my dart width, which is half of an inch, and I'm connecting back to the armhole curve line. You can see that. And of course, my the length of my dart is going to be 2 3/4 of an inch, and it's going to be in the middle. Okay, and that's why I'm measuring and folding into 2, so that I can have my middle point. And once you discover your midpoint, your shoulder midpoint, you have to connect to the chest line. Okay, and that point you are connecting to is your bust span divided by 2. I hope you know that already. Okay, so then you insert your dart and you are good to go. So I'm going to insert 0.25, which is 1/4 of an inch, on both sides of the line. You can see that, so that I can have my darts, my triangular dart around there. So here, each dart leg, I'm trying to draw the line upward a little, about 1/4 of an inch above the shoulder line. Okay, this is just to create a balance. This is to create a balance. All right, so if you are not going to add shoulder, that's fine, but if you're adding shoulder, that then you can do this. So each dart leg, as it goes beyond the shoulder line by 1/4 of an inch, then you can now connect it back accordingly as shown. Okay, so this is what you should do to have a balance on your shoulder. All right, guys, I am done. Then I can cut my pattern. So stay tuned for the cutting on the fabric and the sewing aspect in the next video. Thank you so much. Follow me on my social media, Thydee Patterns on Instagram, Thydee Patterns on Facebook. I have a group also named Thydee Patterns. And don't forget to like, share, and drop your comments in case you have any questions. I'm here. I will be providing answers to all your questions. I promise that. Thank you so much. I have an online course if you really want to do or go through one of my courses, then you're free. You're free to let me know. The number is on the screen. Once again, thank you and God bless you.